Welcome back, everyone. Davey Death Ray here. I was going to get my timer going, but I was a little too slow. So we'll just get going here. We are on live for our Sunday weekend roundup. Hope everyone's having a great weekend thus far. We are rounding the corner. It's time to get those Sunday scaries on and start thinking about returning back to work. But first, we can catch up on everything going on here at the channel and everything going on in your guys' lives as well. Excuse me. Geez, what the heck is going on this morning? All right, guys, just wanted to hop in the chat here. We've got Raymond Malibu popping in. Hey, Davey, I hope you and Kate are having a wonderful weekend. It's been great thus far. Yeah, we had a relatively relaxing day yesterday. And then, I was working on putting together my Terrifier review so I could get that all wrapped up. And I also watched Terrifier 2 yesterday. So a bit of a leisurely one thus far, and probably get to all those house chores and everything today. What's happening, Gavin? How's it going, man? Happy birthday to you, my guy. I hope it's been awesome so far. And I hope you get out there and have some fun today. Hopefully, yeah, it's just a great birthday for you. We've got Medley Man. What's happening? Hola to you as well, Medley Man. K-Tal, how you doing? Gene Whitacombe. What's happening, Gene? I'm so sorry about your Rangers. I was really hoping that the finals for the Stanley Cup would be Rangers Stars. That way, Allie Girl, who is always popping up in the chat, could have her team in there, and they still have a chance, but they've got to climb back. They've got to win 2 in a row. Coy says, I've been waiting all morning for this. What's happening, Coy? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you as well, my guy. Yeah, just rewatched A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. It's so much better than I remembered, says Medley Man. I said the same thing when I did my franchise ranking a few weeks ago. I rewatched all the movies, and I was like, man, Part 4 like really climbed up in my ranking. How's it going, Ashton? Happy Sunday to you, my man. Hopefully it's been a great weekend for you thus far. We've got Kate in the chat. My wife Kate is in there giving Gavin birthday wishes. That is too sweet. Yeah, B-Day boy. That's right. Absolutely, guys. Throw Gavin all the love. There we go. Yep. And we've got so Raymond's chiming back in. We've got Aaron Click in the house. Welcome back, Aaron. Great to see you in here. As always, great to see you in the chats everywhere else. Love seeing you here on the stream over on my channel as well. Yeah. Everyone is saying what's up to each other. That is great. Happy Sanjo says Terrifier 2 is amazing. Makes the first one look like shit. That's interesting. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Terrifier 2. I don't want to bury the lead because I am going to shoot a review for Terrifier 2. So I don't want to like spoil everything. We'll get into some Terrifier, the original Terrifier talk for sure today. But yeah, we'll see how deep we get into Terrifier 2. I don't want to spoil the review there. And we've got Steven Jenkins over from the Twisted Locker. Guys, if you do not sub to the Twisted Locker, you should go check those guys out. Couple of dudes from Wales. They are cousins. At least they call themselves cousins on the show. So I'm just going to blindly believe it because everything that someone says to you through a camera and a microphone has to be true, right? Welcome into the chat, Jenks. Great to see you, man. Really love what you guys do, what you and Curtis do over there on your channel, and looking forward to putting something together with you guys here in the relatively near future. Yeah, guys, if you've got if you like my opinions over here, you're probably really gonna like what they have to say over there. We've got a lot of not so much like the way that we do content, but as far as like the movies and stuff that we love, there's a lot of overlap there for sure. Love seeing some Dead Alive fanfare. Absolutely. Jean says she's sad about her Rangers, but proud of them as well. They did great. It's really tough. It's a gauntlet in the playoffs. It's very, very difficult, for a #1 seed to reach the cup and then win the cup. It's a rare thing. And everyone's still saying what's up to each other. We've got Nick Miller from the Lost River Drive-In peeping into the chat. What's happening, Nick? It was great having you on Late Night with the Davey earlier this week. It was a blast. Nick and I had just like corresponded through, you know, DM stuff like that, putting together a couple things. So it's always great to actually get to like see somebody and interact with them. And really love Nick's content over there at the Lost River Drive-In. I would imagine if you guys found your way over here to my little channel, you found your way over there. But if not, and then this happens. I don't know why this happens every like once every stream. Hopefully you guys can still see me okay. But over on my side, the screen goes blank for a few seconds. Anyways, hop on over to the Lost River Drive-In if you guys don't already sub over there. Liked it more than Predator, which really surprised me. I must have missed something. You must have mentioned. Are we talking about Terrifier? Let's see here. Everyone's saying what's up. Aaron says he prefers the first Terrifier. That's interesting. We'll talk a little bit about Terrifier. The middle long kill, that movie is the most uncomfortable I've ever been watching a kill in a movie. Oh, in Terrifier 2 or in the first Terrifier? See, I'm already confused. They're both very, very bloody movies. Nick saying what's up to everyone. This is great. There we go. Coy, hey Nick, love your channel. See, we got some overlap here. Love seeing it. Awesome, guys. Yeah, so we are gonna check out. We're just gonna go back to kind of what was covered this previous week on the channel, and then you know, look forward to what's coming up here. You guys know the drill. If you've been here on a Sunday live stream, you know how it all goes. We just kind of chit chat with each other and catch up a little bit. So please feel free to ask any questions in the, you know, in the chat here. And if you're coming in after the fact and watching the replay, feel free to leave something in the comments. Let us know what you think. Yeah, we'll see how it goes here. No Nightmare. Okay, so Nightmare 4. Liking that more than Predator. Okay. Liked it more than Predator. Yeah. Well, I think Nightmare 4 is a lot more fun than most people give it credit. I have admittedly not watched the Nightmare series as much as I've watched Friday the 13th or Halloween. I think Nightmare is okay. I think there's some really cool ideas there, but I think like as far as the films go, it's pretty hit or miss for me. And I don't know, maybe for the most part, I just like Silent Killers a little bit more, although I do enjoy myself some Chucky. But yeah, I don't know. Nightmare 4, like I said, Medley Man, when I went back and rewatched it for the ranking, I was just like, man, this is really fun. I'm kind of having more fun here than I am with Dream Warriors. At least like it felt like it was leaning that way. Not quite enough for me to edge it out of that spot, but really enjoyed Alice in that movie quite a bit. What is with in the Nightmare movies? It seems like there's just like all these homes with like dirty walls, and every parent is an alcoholic that doesn't want to believe anything their kids say. Is it really just like, is it just trying to paint this picture of these people that killed this man and then they're dealing with the guilt? I don't know. But the dirty walls kind of cracks me up in the Nightmare series. It's just one of these things. Dirty walls. Look for it the next time. You will not be able to unsee it. Blasphemy, Dave. Give me Freddy over Jason every day of the week. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Nick. It might be because I fell in love with those characters in series sooner, but I do think like just how much Freddy kind of changes through the course of those movies he's in. There's like a huge shift, and I like the kind of scarier Freddy more, which I just think we don't get very much of that in the series. So yeah, that's probably it. And then yeah, credit to Nightmare 5 to your point though. Yes, Alice's dad does have a really awesome arc. The poor man's John Turturro has a great arc there. And yeah, I really enjoyed your video on Nightmare 5, Nick. I don't enjoy it quite as much as part 4, but you know, as I rewatch these movies and when I go back and revisit them, things are always kind of changing for me. It's one of the fun things about being able to go back and watch movies. I know not everyone's really into rewatching. I'm one of those people that loves rewatching. I gain different perspective all the time. For example, like when I first saw Donnie Darko, I really enjoyed that movie. And the second time I watched it, I was like, I think this is still pretty cool. And by the third time I watched Donnie Darko, I was thinking, this movie is like I'm realizing that it treats its audience like an idiot and like idiots, and it all the weird like kind of time travel, like, you know, all that stuff. There's all sorts of like holes in that story, And ultimately I was like, man, this is a movie that like tricks you into thinking that it's good the first couple times, and it's really not that good of a movie. And then there's the total opposite where I just fall more and more in love with a movie as I watch it. So yeah, uh, film is an interesting medium that way. I think sometimes like music can be a little bit like that too. At least like I can listen to a record like 100 or 200 times and then all of a sudden hear something that I never heard before. So kind of fun. And now we've got the Nightmare talk is just swirling in the chat. Aaron Click says, I don't hate Nightmare 4, but it's a bit too bright and bubbly for me. I still think 1, 3, and New Nightmare are the 3 best. Probably not coincidentally, they have the most Craven involvement. Those were my top 3. I think in a little bit of a different order, but those were my top 3 as well, Aaron. Yeah, really fun stuff with those 3 movies. And we got Jamie Hart is in the chat, and Jamie's birthday was yesterday, right, Jamie? Happy belated birthday. I hope the weekend has been awesome. So we've got Jamie's birthday yesterday, Gavin's birthday today. Guys, if you have not given Gavin his birthday wishes in the chat, please throw them out there. Absolutely. Yeah, Gavin says, I still don't understand Donnie Darko. That's the thing, is it's like, it's one of those movies where you're just along for the ride at first. And then as I kept on revisiting it, I'm like, man, I don't like this movie. There's been a few movies that I've watched that are like that. I'm trying to think of the other films that have been like, I liked them the first time and then just fell out of love with them. Oh, 28 Days Later. I thought 28 Days Later was so much fun in the theater. I think I saw it twice in the theater and I liked it both times. And then watching it at home, I was like falling asleep. And then I'm thinking like, man, they borrow some elements from Day of the Dead here, which I don't mind at all, but also like maybe just like the fast zombie kind of thing. And technically they're not even zombies because they're not undead. So that's a whole different discussion when it comes to 28 Days Later. But I don't know what it is. That movie just, I fell out of love with it really, really quick. Um, and then you got, Jamie says Donnie Darko is one of my favorite time travel movies of all time. Yeah, I think it plays with the time travel. Every film does it in a weird way. What cracks me up is like Kate, tell me, which Harry Potter movie is it where they use the time travel device? Is it Goblet of Fire? I can't remember. But I love that in Harry Potter, the way that they use time travel, it's not even as sophisticated as like the way Back to the Future does it. It's seriously like the Bill and Ted's version. It's like, oh, in Bill and Ted's, when they're like, well, we'll just remember to hide a key behind this rock. And then they just go there and pick up the key. It's already there, even though they haven't done it yet. That's how Harry Potter treats time travel in Goblet of Fire, whichever movie it is. It's hilarious. They're like, oh, well, we'll just make sure to like throw these rocks at, Hagrid's later and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but that shit doesn't happen if you haven't done it yet. So interesting. Time travel, it's a wild world. We're getting into some heavy stuff here in the chat early on here. Yeah, guys. So let's take a look at what we did this past week. On the channel here. Oh, it's Prisoner of Azkaban. So thank you. Appreciate that, Kate. And then Jamie says, my son just yesterday gave me the Time Turner necklace from Harry Potter as a gift. It is a very sweet little charm that they put together for that. Gavin says 28 days later is okay. It's just not as great as everyone makes it out to be. Yeah, I haven't even seen 28 weeks later because that's how much out of love I fell with 28 days later. But yeah. And then Aaron says, I think the idea that it creates a loop. True, Aaron, but you have to have at least done it once to start the loop, right? I mean, that makes sense. You can't just say like, oh, I'll just remember to do this and use the time traveler to do it, and then it's already happening. Like something has to kick that off, right? So you have to at least make it to the point where you can actually time travel to save yourself or to give yourself the thing you need. If you're not there to do it, then how would you even have it in the first place? Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know. And then, yeah, of course, Kate is obsessed with Harry Potter. But yeah, guys, let's hop on over and see what we covered here on the channel. So yeah, let's do a little catch up. Last week on Tuesday, I believe, the episode of Real Talk where I appeared, with Brett and Brad from Good Real Hunting for a nice little interview. It's about like an hour, 20 minutes or something like that. It was great hanging out with those guys. I love what they do over there at their channel. And, we talked movies, we talked YouTube, We talked, if we could pick a hall pass, who would be your hall pass as far as celebrities go. I haven't thought about that in such a long time. So I just sort of, flew by the seat of my pants on that one. But yeah, great time chatting with those guys. I really love how they run their channel over there, how they involve the audience, and always throwing out new content. Really, really fun. And just so charming. Really enjoy those guys. So hop on over to their channel. The link is in the description below if you want to check out that episode of Real Talk. Would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, we'll have to get them over here on the Davey Death Ray channel as well. I'd love to have those guys on an episode of Late Night with the Davey. Absolutely. And speaking of Late Night with the Davey, boom! This last Wednesday, we had Nick Miller, who is in the chat right now. We had Maxwell Stern from Signals Midwest, a fantastic musician who's putting out a new record this fall. And then, of course, we had Braden Timmons. You guys know him from YouTube, but also as a filmmaker, the director of The Haddonfield Nightmare, which we covered here on the channel on one of our Fan Film Fridays. And he's also wrapping up his follow-up to The Haddonfield Nightmare, which is called The Last Nightmare Part 1. So you can check out a link for that full episode in the description below. And I started doing something new with actually a couple new things with Late Night with the Davey, guys. So I just wanted to catch you up on the changes there. So Late Night with the Davey is moving over to being a 2-guest show instead of 3 guests. I noticed the first few episodes were somewhere between 2 hours, 15 minutes and like 2 hours, 45 minutes. And I love having people on and having those conversations, but that's a bit of a long show, right? So I figured, hey, if we can get it somewhere between 90 and 100 minutes, we can have 2 guests on. That way we have all that time to let the conversation breathe with the guests, get you guys more involved in the chat, of course, and also just make the show a little more digestible and accessible for new folks, people that are just perusing on by. And, as a part B to that change on the show, I've also started cutting up each episode, grabbing the full interview for each guest. So, as the days go on here on the channel, if you go and check it out, you'll see that Nick's interview is up in full, and so is Max's as well. So you can just watch those a la carte. I just thought that would be kind of nice for the guests to be able to share on their channels or share with loved ones and all that kind of stuff. I know that moms are really big into watching their kids on YouTube. So all that fun kind of stuff. And then, just I think that the live streams, they have some really good life within that first 24 to 48 hours, and then it kind of drops off. So I wanted to be able to create kind of a second life for those interviews on YouTube, create more content. We're trying to get to the spot where we can unlock members. And to do that, we've got to get some watch hours up. We're about halfway there on the watch hours. And once we get there, we'll be able to unlock some really fun stuff here on the channel. So new things coming here with Late Night with the Davey. I'm excited for those changes, excited to get more exposure and time with our amazing guests, and be able to share those interviews a la carte after the full episode airs. Let's see here. Boom. Jamie Hart. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Everybody loves the HP, right? Well, I guess not everybody loves the HP. Sometimes people have a tough time separating the art from the artists, and they think they can't like Harry Potter anymore, even though they grew up with Harry Potter, just because they happen to disagree with the person that wrote the books, which is an interesting way to go about things. I guess that's about as deep into that as I want to get right here on the stream. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, Kate, I think last week I had mentioned something like it would be fun for the third time that or the next time you go through the books, I could just read them to you. And then you get like some narration, and I finally get to read the books. Because guys, every time we watch the movies, I'm always asking her, like every single time, is it like that in the book? And it's got to be just maddening to keep on hearing that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just want to go back to this one really quick too. Jamie said Brad and Brett are super cool. They always have entertaining shows and they know their stuff. Absolutely, they sure do. They are tried and true fans. That much you can tell. That's one of the reasons why also that their chat is really fun, because it's a lot of super fans in the chat. So I feel like whenever I hop on one of their live streams, I can be like full nerd there in the live stream, and I'm going to be with people that are, very similar in that regard. Yeah, Aaron is very excited for The Last Nightmare. I am as well. Medley Man says you should read How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't even know those were books. That's how out of the loop I am with everything. And we've got Eli Cortez in the chat. What's happening, Eli? Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much for popping in again. Love seeing folks keep on coming back. Everyone's saying hi to Eli here. Let's see here. Kate says, I'll look into, How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah. Or are you guys talking about something else with Harry Potter? Maybe I missed it. Who knows? All right. I'm going to hop back on over to the XSplit here, and we'll just keep on running through what we did here on the week, last week during the channel. So we put out a review of Damien Leone's Terrifier. Now, I finally watched Terrifier. Let's see here. That would have been about a week ago. I watched Terrifier, and oh gosh, guys, how many of you guys have watched my review? Let me know in the chat. I was pretty bare bones in the review, honestly. And I mean, I don't think I said this in the review, but Terrifier, the first Terrifier movie, is barely a movie. It was like the longest, most excruciating process, I think, watching a movie for me. It felt like it took forever. I didn't really enjoy much of it. However, and maybe something I could have leaned a little bit more into in my review is I do think the music is fantastic. Paul Wiley, I believe, is the name of the composer that did the music. The music is really, really good stuff. I would listen to the soundtrack outside of just the film watching experience. I'll probably never watch Terrifier ever again. Now Terrifier 2, that might be a little bit of a different story, but I don't want to spoil anything. I want you guys to tune in for the review of that, obviously. But I think it's no secret that Terrifier 2 is miles and miles better than the original Terrifier. So I'll just leave it at that for Terrifier 2 talk. I guess I will say this about Terrifier 2 as well, because we just talked about the music. Love the Paul Wiley music. Also, I really love the soundtrack that they worked into there. There's a song, the opening song when Sienna is putting together like her costume. It's by a band called The Midnight, and for whatever reason, I am blanking on the name of the song right now, but it's a really good like synth pop song. That's pretty much just an instrumental song. Aaron says, Davey, I know you love punk rock, but do you like post-punk? The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, the Chameleons, Joy Division. It's my favorite musical genre. I like the Cure okay. I'm not super, I know a couple Susie and the Banshee songs that I've heard. Joy Division, I've heard a little bit of Joy Division as well. I didn't dive too much into that like gothy kind of post-punk sort of thing. Unless are the Smiths considered post-punk? Because I really, really enjoy the Smiths, and I quite enjoy a lot of Morrissey's music. There's just something, he's got this dark sense of humor that seems to be a little more on the humor side than the dark side. So I think a lot of people, when people talk about the Smiths, they talk about how depressing they are, and I think that they think they're talking about the Cure. Because I think the Cure, I mean, great songs and everything, but I think the Cure lean into a little bit more like the sad stuff. Whereas I think the Smiths kind of have like a tongue-in-cheek, dark sense of humor about looking at the sad stuff for sure. But yeah, guys, let's see here. Let me know what you thought of Terrifier. Check out the review if you haven't checked it out yet. Leave a comment over there. I'm interested to know what you guys think, and I'll get to some of those thoughts here. Let's see here. Aaron says, I watched your review. I respect your opinion on it. Hey, that's all I can ask, really, right? I thought I was pretty, I try to be like as diplomatic as possible, right? Like, I'm not here to just like trash on something because I didn't have a fun time, because there certainly are things that the first film does well, even from a technical standpoint. Even like if I don't want like a wall of gore for 84 minutes, like that's a taste thing. But it's not like the gore looks bad, right? So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, taste wise, it's not really what I want. However, I'm not going to sit here and act like these people don't have skills and talent. And I just don't think they, for me, film is like about a story. And the first Terrifier movie felt a lot like the All Hallows Eve thing, where it just was like a series of skits. It just so happened that art was the through line for all the skits. The characters like know each other in a way, but not all of them. I would say, like, for the most part, even though I think there's a pairing of sisters in the first Terrifier, they're only connected through like phone calls. So we never get like time in the first movie to really get to know our characters, to like feel something for them. And I think one of the other mistakes, now that I've seen Terrifier 2, one of the things that the first film didn't really do either is like didn't really give Art as full of a fleshed out character. And there just wasn't much suspense, because I felt like Art was like always successful in the very first movie. Whereas in Terrifier 2, there's a little bit more of a cat and mouse for his like main prize, which I thought made the film like a film. It made it so much more interesting. Medley Man says Terrifier is pretty much just Friday the 13th, but without a killer backstory. Yeah, I mean, it's a straight up splatter flick. It's just not much substance. T. Parker Evans says, I personally find both Terrifier films to be barely movies. I just don't understand the hype. Yeah, I mean, I think the second film is like actually has narrative structure and things that I'm used to seeing in films. So it made the first film kind of look like a demo, essentially. Did you get used to the gore for Terrifier 2? You know what, Medley Man? I feel like I've maybe even already said too much, so I'm going to back off the Terrifier 2 talk. I will get into all of that in the review. So I'm going to shoot my review later today, and it'll be coming out this week. So I'm not going to make you guys wait for it forever or anything like that. But yeah, I don't want to give everything away here. I'm sure you guys would be awesome and still check out the review either way. But maybe as the channel gains steam and all that kind of stuff, and when I watch older movies, maybe instead of doing like a dedicated review, I might just like hop on a live, kind of give you guys my review on the live, and then just cut that up into its own video. Because the conversational way of sort of discussing a film is a little bit easier than like making everything concise and then editing it down to a pre-recorded film or pre-recorded video, excuse me. And there you go. Aaron says, yeah, you can consider the Smiths post-punk. Yeah, I definitely dig that kind of style from, that like British, kind of like jangly, little bit of a gothy kind of feel music. Admittedly, I just probably need to spend more time with bands like Joy Division, because what I've heard, I've really liked. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I've never taken the dive there, but maybe my time is now, because there's a whole bunch of like, about 10 years ago or so, I dove into like REO Speedwagon. Now, I had heard like all the REO hits, like their ballads and stuff like that. But about 10 years ago, when I just dove in and listened to their records just all the way through, I realized, well, this band has so much more to offer than the ballads. In fact, most of their songs are way more like rockin' than any of the singles. And so it just gave me this whole new appreciation for that era of music. So I dove back into like, bands like Foreigner and stuff like that, just other bands kind of similar in that genre. And so that's kind of what happens sometimes, is I discover something that's like new to me, or I find that I've got a love for a subgenre, and then I do that deep dive. So Aaron, I probably just need to, while I'm like pretty aware of the Cure's catalog, probably need to jump into the Susie and the Banshees and the Joy Division stuff, certainly. Jamie says, I know everyone seems to love Art, but I can't. I need my bad guys to be violent from anger of existing rather than being violent for delight. I don't watch horror for the gore. Yeah, I would say that, man, especially in that first movie, there's just like really no dimension. Huh. Yeah. I can totally understand that, Jamie. I can totally understand it. Yeah, I will get into all of that when I review Terrifier 2. You're not allowed to enjoy Morrissey these days, Davey. Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Can't enjoy Harry Potter. Can't enjoy Morrissey. Gosh, Hollywood, please tell me what I can and can't enjoy. I'm just waiting for you guys to tell me what's acceptable for me to like. Yes, the Smiths are great. I really enjoy them a lot. We got Allie Girl in the chat. What's happening, Allie? She says, happy Sunday, everyone. Been busy in the yard this morning. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. We certainly are, Allie. We are celebrating some birthdays here. Jamie's birthday was yesterday. Gavin is celebrating his birthday today. So thank you so much for joining us here. Yeah, you got to get that pool time in, right? You got to get that. If I were there, I'd be in the pool. Let's just say that. And maybe Kate and I have like our poor man's pool that we like to do. We have this big bucket and we put water and essential oils or like Epsom salts or both in there. We fill it with ice and water and we put the air to like 82 or something. So it starts to get like a little hot in here and we dunk our feet in. So we save a little money on the AC and it like dunking your feet in the ice, it cools down the whole body. Put a little baseball on the TV or something fun like that and you just kick it. Yeah, that's our version of a pool. Because having a pool, I don't know if it's this way for you, Allie, but out here in AZ, it like doubles the cost of living for you. So yeah, nope, can't do that. And Allie, best of luck to your Stars today. I know all of us in the chat are rooting for Dallas. You got to win these next two. Got to get to the cup. Got to beat those Panthers. All right, no excuses. All right, let's see what else we've got going on. Man, people are talking The Cure. They're talking music. We've got Gory Tiger in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Gory. Great seeing you here. And we've got my Chunky Jordy in the chat. Back for more. Great to see you, Chunky Jordy. Really appreciate you dropping on by. So yeah, guys, let's see here. Oh my goodness. We've got Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel. What's happening, Cecil? Great to see you in the chat. We are catching up with each other out here. And man, the chat is just flying. I'm going to move on from Terrifier talk because you guys are just trying to get me to talk about Terrifier 2 before I shoot my review. And that's naughty, but I can't blame you. All right. I can't blame you. So yeah, guys, coming up this week, I think I had mentioned it last week because I was a little confused of where the days were. But on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be appearing live on Sledgehammer Horror. They're having Dice Roland is going to be on there as well. And we're going to be talking the top kills in the Final Destination franchise. Now, this is a franchise that I haven't rewatched too much. So I've been doing my homework and catching up on everything so I can get a fresh set of eyes on all of these before we sit in there. This is a franchise that started when I was at the end of my high school days, right? So it kind of came, after Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and The Faculty and H2O and all of that kind of revitalized that whole teen slasher. This was sort of like the next evolution of that, where it's not so much a slasher, but it definitely plays out like one. So really excited to hop on over with Ken and Ashley over on Sledgehammer Horror. There is a link in the description below if you guys want to set a notification for that. It's Tuesday, 8 p.m. Myself and Dice Roland over on Sledgehammer Horror talking top kills in the Final Destination franchise. And then also coming up this week on Wednesday, we're coming back with Late Night with the Davey. And we've got Nick Push from Nick Push's Horror channel and Destiny Faulkner, who you guys that follow Good Real Hunting, you've seen her. If you're a follower of Braden Timmons, you've seen her over there as well. So she does Back from the Dead with Brett over at Good Real Hunting. And she also does Fear Freaks on Braden Timmons. I mean, I've seen her pop up other places. Those are just the two spots that I see her regularly pop up. Really looking forward to talking to Destiny because light interaction in the chat and all that kind of stuff. But again, guys, it's so cool to just get to, know some of these content creators a little bit better. Same thing for Nick. I've hopped in some of his live chats, stuff like that. We've gotten to know each other a little bit just while setting this up. But this is why we do the show. So we can kind of get to know people a little bit better. Hopefully talk to them about something that's maybe something they haven't covered to death yet, find a new perspective, something that keeps you guys interested, and also, let you guys get to know them a little bit better as well. So really looking forward to that episode of Late Night with the Davey. And let me catch up over here. Really appreciate you guys chiming in. Once I saw that that last episode was like 2 hours 42 minutes, I was like, man, maybe I should just do two guests. Might be easier, probably, well, definitely easier to book, easier to manage the communication, and more time with the guests. So I really appreciate you guys chiming in. I put polls out on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I think I got one person that wanted it to stay as three guests. So really appreciate you guys supporting on that end as well. And then you guys are catching up here. I see Eli says, it's awesome you got Planet CHH for late night with the Davy. Absolutely. It's incredible. So yeah, Christian from Planet CHH will be appearing on June 12th. And that'll be, I'll be bringing Ken and Ashley from Sledgehammer Horror on as well. So that's a powerhouse that we've got there lined up for the 12th. So we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. But absolutely, Eli, it is, I say it all the time here, the amount of support and that the YouTube community has, been throwing the channel's way is incredible. Not just people jumping in the chat like Nick from Lost River Drive-In and Cecil from the Horror Show channel. Christian has also jumped into the live chats as well. He's helped us reach a few really big milestones as far as sub count goes. And, coming from like the musical world where there certainly are people that have got your back and your best interest in mind, I found that pretty much everyone I've met here on YouTube has been just incredibly sweet and genuine and supportive. So, man, watching a video over on Christian's channel really is like hanging out with a friend. So I'm really pumped to get to know him a little bit better. He's always talking movies, so we'll probably talk music and maybe we'll talk some like oddball comedies. I'd love to talk to him about movies like UHF and Fletch, because I feel like he talks a lot of horror over there. So it'd be fun to jump into something that's just a little bit different, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Absolutely. And you guys are still chatting here. Let's see here. Medley Man says, are you going to participate in those 31 on 31 rankings? I don't think so, Medley Man. I've seen those pop up. Is that where they do a video like every day for 31 days? I honestly, like, I haven't even watched any of those. I think they've been like really long, or I'm just so far behind that I don't even know really what the format is. So let me know what that format is. And but I haven't been, if it's something that's like organized by a group of YouTubers and people like take their turn and that kind of stuff, no one's reached out, to me about participating in anything like that. Aaron says the Chameleons are severely underrated too. I hate comparing, but they're like a cross between good U2 and Joy Division. Well, I'm glad that you qualified that, because yeah, U2 in their early days, far better work being put out there. And I've never even heard of the Chameleons, so I'm going to go ahead and say that you must be absolutely correct that they're severely underrated, because I'm a massive music nerd. So to have not even heard of the band really tells me that they must be underrated. I'll have to check them out. Yeah, absolutely. There it is. Jamie Hart. REO Speedwagon High Infidelity was the first album I ever owned. Did you watch it in the theater? I'm just joking, Jamie. Yeah, that album is absolutely incredible. Not a weak track out of all of them. It is unbelievable. Like all the way through. I mean, starting like, yeah, the B side starts off just as strong as the A side. It's such a ripper of an album, guys. If you have not listened to High Infidelity by REO Speedwagon, you really, really have to. It's a good shit. You're still not allowed to like Halloween Ends. You're shining, sinning every day. No, I love Halloween Ends. It's great. But Tub and Baseball. Oh yeah. It doubles the work for sure. Oh, having a pool. Yeah. Get a friend with a pool. That's the cool thing about Arizona, is like half the people have pools, and we live in one of those like planned communities. So like most people have pools. It's just about finding a good time to hop on over, everyone's having their pool talk. This is great. Raymond says, if we stopped liking a movie or show or songs for stuff people do off screen, we might as well live in a cave. Everyone has something they may have done not good. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, we can't, the whole like revisionist sort of thing, or even I think there's like maybe there does come a point where you're like, okay, I can't enjoy this person's art anymore. But the way that people are about J.K. Rowling, like I just like she disagrees with how you feel politically. That's all it is. Like they're not out there trying to hurt people or cause any harm, but people say she's causing harm with her words because some people out there think that words are violence, but you know, if it doesn't call, if what you're saying isn't calling for violence and you're not instigating violence through your speech, then your speech is free and you should be able to have it regardless of people, if people disagree with you or not, you know, right? Let's see here. Allie says it's a little cost to open, but once you get it open and balanced, it's not too bad. Keeping it clean is inconvenient. I bet that's got to be the trick with the pool, right? And we got some love for Destiny and Sledgehammer Horror. Awesome. Destiny is my latest convert to a Twin Peaks fan. That's great. Yeah, I heard Braden and Destiny talking about how they made that dive. So and that's something that I've never done, Jamie. I have not ever watched Twin Peaks. So maybe I could be your next convert. You know, I'll let Destiny and Braden like catch up. I'm not gonna, you know, I don't want to, you know, steal their thunder. But I will hop on Twin Peaks here sometime in the near future. How about it? Ali says, Nick is such an amazing dude. He was my first channel to ever start watching on YouTube. That is awesome. Yeah, I know you're a big Nick Push fan. Ali, I think you might have even turned me on to Nick's channel. Because like I said, guys, I watch a whole bunch of different stuff on YouTube. YouTube doesn't really know what to do with me because I watch like comedy, politics, sports, video games, horror movies, regular movies, comic books, like I put on Bob Ross or the Ninja Turtles or Mystery Science Theater. Then I put on these videos that are for my cats where squirrels and birds eat nuts. So YouTube is like, I don't know what the hell to do with you. And they don't always recommend like stuff that I really, really would love, like Nick's channel and even the Lost River Drive-In. Like, I mean, Nick's had that channel. The other Nick Miller's had that channel for so long. And I just bumped into it like a few months ago. But what's cool is, you know, and I hope that happens to this channel here. When I find a channel that I really love, I go back through the catalog. I watch everything that looks interesting to me, all that kind of stuff. So I hope here at the channel, we build that momentum as we get new subscribers and we continue to put out content that the older videos continue to get some of that love and that traction as the channel goes on. My Chunky Jordy says Destiny is off and on Matt Facci's channel as well. Yeah, you know, I think I saw a thumbnail there, but I think I must have missed those videos. So I'll have to go back and check those out. I love what Facci does over at Facci Cinema. Medley Man says 31 on 31 is just ranking 31 different movies, and you posted on the 31st of October. Okay. Yeah, and I saw that they're doing that for I don't know if that was something they did for in May this year, if they did like a mid-year one. So you just rank 31 different movies. Oh, okay. So you don't have to be invited. You just like, it's sort of like one of those tag kind of like challenge things. Like I can put together my own video and just say that that's what it is. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to piss anyone off, you know, people being like, hey, we didn't invite you to do our 31 on 31. Although I see that like, you know, Cody Leach does that all the time. And, you know, we're pretty friendly. We're talking, I have him penciled in as a guest sometime in I'll be reaching out to him in July to be on Late Night with the Davies. So I don't know if that'll happen in July or if it'll be something that'll happen in August. We'll just see. But you know, really looking forward to that. I've been watching Cody for years. One thing I really like about Cody is, you know, while he is like horror leaning in a lot of his content, you know, he's, to put it simply, a movie reviewer. So he'll review any film. I think he does a really good job of you know, understanding all of the different elements that go into filmmaking. So I think he's, you know, really fair and, but like tough when he's got to be, right? So I really like that approach. You know, like with my Terrifier review, I, you know, really didn't enjoy that movie as a whole, but there are elements that certainly do work. So I wanted to be fair in my review. You know, the review isn't me just saying, oh, this movie's trash, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I am real as far as saying that I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but it certainly has some good points working for it. So, you know, Cody's one of those guys that I think a lot of people look up to. I'd be lying if I said that, you know, he didn't play a part in inspiring me to start my own channel. There's so many YouTubers that played, you know, a role, whether or not it was, you know, varying in significance. Absolutely. So speaking of YouTubers who played a role in inspiring me, varying in significance, we've got Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards in the chat. What's happening, Barry? Man, I've been watching Barry for a really, really long time. And one of the guys that inspired me most, I would say. Like if I had to pick 3 YouTubers that really like pushed me for a long amount of time, we're talking Dave McRae, Lee from Drum Dums, and Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards. Those are the guys that for, you know, getting closer to a decade as we go on, you know, made me want to start a channel years and years ago. I have no idea why I waited so long, guys. I'm so sorry. But very happy to be getting to know y'all as we move on here. And you know what? The cool thing about that too is like, we just got to make up for lost time, you know? That's why I'm like just diving right in. And I feel like, you know, we can make something really special here. So, you know, just keeping the eye on the prize and letting things cultivate naturally, I think is a big thing for me. But also, you know, making sure that we're continuing to put towards those efforts to grow. Absolutely. And we've got everyone saying what's up to Barry. I love it. I love it. Wolfman says, is Davey talking rubbish again? No, I promise I'm not talking rubbish again. We're not saying anything mean about H2O, Barry. And we still need to work out that whole Alexa thing. Can you replace Alexa's voice with my voice? I don't know. You know, if anything, AI should be able to get there, right? And Jamie says, nothing thrills me more than when someone tells me they're going to check out Twin Peaks. If I could relive my OG watch through, I would. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. Man, that OG watch through is such a fun thing. Like, I wish I could do that for stuff like, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, of course, Mystery Science Theater, because when I found that, it was such a watershed moment for like how I interpret, you know, comedy. Just such an influence on my sense of humor. So yeah, I can certainly appreciate that for sure. And probably something like The Evil Dead. I wish I could go back and watch The Evil Dead for the first time again. Gavin, love watching animals eat nuts. Yeah, my cats really like it. And then every now and then we just like this morning, there was like the biggest, chunkiest, like black squirrel. Like it was like the King Kong of squirrels. And it was walking all like, you know, I'm getting it, you know, could be a pregnant mama for all I know. Definitely looked that way. See, there we go. Depending on the specifics, I can always, yeah, I think that's the way to go, Aaron. Certainly there is a line like where, you know, when somebody's like criminal with their behavior, then of course, like that can cause like a disconnect of, you know, absolutely. But yeah, I think the work, like, you know, if you look at the things that are actually taught and all that in Harry Potter, I don't think there's anything, you know, hateful that's taught in those books. So I think like you gotta, you know, kind of compartmentalize the art from the artist at that point. If you disagree with them politically, to sort of throw everything away, right? It's like, even if you disagree with like a politician or something, does that mean like every stance they have is wrong? Like probably not. You know, you might agree with them on like a few things, and then you disagree with them on some of the things that are just more fundamentally important to you, right? So throwing the baby out with the bathwater is something that I think a lot of people do, and I think it's a big part of cancel culture. I understand that maybe sometimes it has to be done, but I think we do it quite a bit. All right, and I got another review coming up, guys. Our very first patron requested review from Gavin. Mr. Mud Nelson requested, well, he kind of put it in the hands of you guys for Mandy or Intruder. Intruder won that poll in the live chat last week. So Kate and I sat down and watched Intruder, had a great time with this one. And I don't want to give anything else away from the review, but it sounds like Kate and I are going to be doing the review together. I reached out to Gavin and asked him if he wanted it to, you know, to bring her along or just me or whatever. And he was like, that would be awesome. We love Kate. We want to see her thoughts, especially if she enjoyed the film, which she did. Very rarely. So usually I'm the one the next day or right after we watch the movie that I'm the one asking Kate, like, so what did you think? But the other morning, like, after we had watched it, Kate was like, so that movie was pretty awesome last night, which is a pretty rare thing. So really sweet, genuine, reaction from her enjoying that one. And yeah, I'm pumped to share our thoughts. I think this will just be like our second actual review. I know we do movie date with Davey and Kate, but this will be like our second review as a couple. And hopefully we just get into a little bit more of those as we go along. I don't want Kate to feel like she has to review every movie that I review, right? But something like this that we watched together and both enjoyed, or even like I think when Long Legs comes out later this summer, I'd like to watch it with her and review that one with her as well. So yeah, let's see here. We got folks chatting. Medley Man, Cody Leach has some weird opinions. His bottom 4 Halloween movies never cease to baffle me. Well, but I think those things are so interesting. Yeah, I mean, like weird opinions, like weird compared to how you feel, right? So they're just like they're maybe different or controversial. I don't know, like off the top of my head, I don't know what his bottom 4 Halloween movies are. But also at the same time, like, like I say, every time I do a franchise ranking, I want to know what you guys rank these movies and why, because the why is what really fascinates me. You might have a really damn good reason why Freddy's Dead is your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie, right? So like, it's really cool to see some of those people put out a ranking that's like almost the exact flip of a ranking that I would do. And so those things to me, I just think are pretty cool. It doesn't, I mean, I guess the great thing, Medley Man, is like, regardless of how Cody feels about those 4 movies, if they're movies that you really enjoy, it doesn't take anything away from your enjoyment, right? It's like, I really enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween too. I think it's probably in the middle of my ranking. But certainly I enjoy it so much more than many other films in the franchise. And I know a lot of people really don't like that movie, right? So, or Halloween Ends, like a lot of people really don't like that movie, but it's like, well, when I watch those movies, I don't sit there and be like, man, why doesn't everyone feel the way I feel? It's just sort of like I either, listen to some of their criticisms and see those a little bit more and get a more like sobering, well-rounded view of the film, or maybe my opinion is bolstered because something that works for me really works for me on a rewatch, right? So, and of course, a movie like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, there are certain elements that don't work for me, but by and large, I really like the chances it takes, right? So I'll have to check out his bottom 4 and see if they baffle me as well. But I'm one of those guys where I'm like, I just welcome all opinions on film. I mean, certainly if you can explain why. If all you have to say is like, this one's dead last because it's bullshit, then I'm not going to be very interested in that, but I'd be interested to know why. And then Wolfman says, I don't know if you've mentioned it, Davey, but have you watched Terrifier 2 yet? Yes, Barry. I watched Terrifier 2 yesterday. I will be shooting my review today, and that review will come out here later on this week. So, yeah, the long and short of it, I mean, just to give you a taste, I feel like it makes the first Terrifier movie look like a demo tape. That's what I can say without really giving away too much. But yeah, I would probably never watch the original Terrifier ever again. Terrifier 2, maybe I would watch it again. If it were like an hour and 40 minutes, I'd probably buy it, but yeah, I'll get into all the nuts and bolts in my review. But some cancel culture is a good thing. A lot of it's virtue signaling. Yep. Yeah. I mean, the idea of cancel culture is like, shouldn't we, at some point, like want to find a way to forgive? I don't know. Maybe I'm weird in thinking that. I know certain things like you have to be punished for, right? But people seem like really unforgiving about things that are like something someone said, instead of like something that somebody did that violated the rights of another. Like those are the things that are more concerning to me. But yeah, enough of the political talk, right? And then Raymond says, I think Cody started the 30. That's what I thought. I thought it was like him and a group of there was like a group of YouTubers that were doing that for starters. Barry says, thanks for the kind words, Davey. You definitely don't talk rubbish now. Yeah. And yeah, I'm a sweet enough guy, right, Barry? We had a great time. I don't know if you guys watched the top 10 zombie horror movies that Barry and I did over on his channel. There's like a live version that's uncut, and then he put together one that's a little more succinctly cut that gets right into the heart of the matter with the rankings. So guys, if you haven't checked that out, that was a blast and totally surreal for me to do a video with Barry because, like I said, been looking up to him for a really long time. I'm, defending him in comment sections when people say terrible things about his accent, all that fun stuff. I'm like a guard dog. Like I run up and I'm like, leave my friend Barry alone. I can understand his accent. I don't know what your problem is. Best things come to those who wait, Davey. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. OG watch a Vampire Diary. So that's one that Alley Girl wishes she could go back to. Aaron loves Twin Peaks, even Twin Peaks The Return. Okay, yeah, because they did that somewhat recently, right? What's happening, Vanderhoff? Welcome to the chat, sir. Welcome, welcome. Wolfman says, I watched Mulholland Drive recently. That's as close to Twin Peaks I ever want to get. So strange. Yeah, I remember when that came out. I don't know if I watched that one. Is that the one? Does that have Naomi Watts? Is she in Mulholland Drive? Or was it Nicole Kidman, or is it both of them? I know they were in like The Hours together. Are they in that movie together too? Man, that's a blast from the past right there. Kate's never seen Vampire Diaries, and now she's going to add it to her list. Instead of watching Pretty Little Liars the third time, maybe watch Vampire Diaries next. There you go. Aaron knows what's up. Twisted Locker is in the chat. What's happening? Hey, Davey, thanks so much for the call out. Massively appreciate it. Can't wait to do a video together. Yeah, guys, Twisted Locker is really fun. I don't know how many of y'all have found their way there. They are doing really, really well, though. They are going to be at 1,000 subs in no time. They're making like some really good gains on the sub count. The content is consistently coming out. Really great, like ranking videos, awesome movie talk. Similar, like we have similar tastes here at this channel that they've got over at Twisted Locker, but the way they do their content is totally different and really, really fun stuff, guys. Please go over and give them a sub. Check out some of their vids. We're working on putting something together. So they're out there in Wales. And about an 8-hour difference, I believe. So, it takes a little bit of planning to put a little something together, but we will be doing probably a pre-recorded video, but I would love to hop on live with them at some point whenever they're ready to do that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if it's you, Curtis, in the chat, or if Jenks came back in on the Twisted Locker little account there, but really appreciate you guys dropping in to say what's up. And yeah, can't wait to work with you. I foolishly thought that they may be Irish because you don't hear like that Welsh accent very much in the States, right? And I'd imagine that maybe even within Wales, there might be a little bit of a difference there. Just like most regions, you have a region where somebody might have like a Brooklyn accent, and then there's like a Bronx accent within the same city of New York, right? So for some reason, I just thought, to me, it kind of sounded a little Irish. So what the heck do I know, right? But really pumped to work with those guys here and really love their content. Kate, my sister, loves that show and Pretty Little Liars. She watches them like twice a year. Yeah, man, they just get so much replay, huh? Sometimes it's been so long since I've seen something I forget. So it's like I'm watching it the first time. That is awesome. I wish I had that restraint, Raymond, because when I love something, it's like I just like it's taking all of the effort in me to not watch Late Night with the Devil again. Like I've wanted ever since it came out on Shudder. We watched it in the theater on opening weekend. Ever since it came out on Shudder, I've not watched it because I'm sort of like, oh, do I want to wait for Halloween? My parents got me that crazy box set that's coming out in September. So it's got like the TV guide, a Blu-ray, it's got a VHS copy of the movie, like all this swag in there. I'll have to do a video and just kind of show you guys what's going to be coming in there. But actually, once I get the box, I will do like a full unboxing here on the channel so you guys can see everything. It was a pretty penny, but my parents are super sweet. So for my birthday, they went ahead and got that for me. And so part of me is like, do I wait until then to watch it? And maybe it'll feel kind of like a brand new experience, right? And then let's see here. Jamie saying, Aaron Click, I have a love-hate relationship with Twin Peaks: The Return. I love it, but I knew that long sweeping scene was going to make a lot of people upset. A long sweeping scene. Interesting. A scene literally about sweeping. I still need to watch Intruder. Might check it out this week. Yeah, it's available on Tubi, so you can watch it with a handful of commercial breaks. Really wasn't so bad because the movie's just like an hour and 25 minutes. And Ashton, I would say if you're a fan of like that Raimi style of filmmaking, that Sam Raimi kind of feel, this movie definitely has certain elements that remind me of that for sure. Kate's watched Pretty Little Liars several times. Yeah, the end is absolute garbage, and let's be honest, Kate, like a lot of the acting is really bad. Really bad. Eli says, have you thought of a name for the movie you and your brother are making? It sounds kind of like a 30 Days of Night but with zombies. That's funny that you say that, because yeah, I would say it's like 30 Days of Night meets like Dawn of the Dead or something. So yeah, it's I think we're gonna, Eli, we're the original idea is to have it be like a comic, almost like a motion comic, like backgrounds and elements like weather elements and stuff in Unreal Engine. So it's real to life looking. And then hand-drawn characters on top of that is like the style that I'm thinking of. Like hand-drawn characters with relatively thick borders. I just want it to kind of have its own look and feel. And it is called Dead Winter. And yeah, guys, if you missed me talking about Dead Winter last week, that is, yeah, a Romero style zombie story that takes place in my hometown of Juneau, Alaska, because up in Juneau, there's no road out. So you can only get out by water or by air. So imagine living in a place like that. The zombie apocalypse happens. And, you know, with enough foresight, even if a couple zombies get into that town, you could handle it that day and cut off any people leaving or coming in, or at least prevent people from coming in, right? And so it's this idea that, like, you know, maybe 6 months or so, these people think they have it made. You know, they get to actually just kind of live like a normal life, even though they know that the whole world is, you know, rotting around them. However, we do bring in, there's a little bit of like a Jaws element almost, like there is a zombie finds its way to the town, and little do the people in the town know that there are hordes, you know, broken up hordes of the dead slowly making their way because they've taken care of everyone else. And the only thing, that brain is only looking for more flesh to eat, right? So it is these creatures are singularly driven, and they are going to go through rivers, up mountains, walk across glaciers. So we're going to see zombies that look like nothing you've ever seen before. Bloated zombies with water, zombies with like bites taken out of them from wild animals, zombies with bear traps on them. It's going to be Romero style, so they're going to be relatively slow moving zombies. But I really love the way that Romero tells a story. I love that the way he is able to work in sociological elements subtly, especially in his first few films. So, you know, I want to kind of tackle a little bit of that and do it in a really tasteful way. Because I think anytime you want to kind of make a point or bring any sort of thing that could be construed as political into a movie, I think that you have to do it very carefully. You have to respect the audience mostly, right? You don't want to treat the audience like they need to be taught something or told something. The way that I want to do it within this piece of work is have the piece of work stand on its own as an entertaining zombie story. And then for the people that pick up on those elements and pick up on some of the, you know, the deeper meaning, or the people that like want to see that are able to find that within the story, but that it's entertaining first, right? And then it would be awesome if that was able to be turned into a film at some point. I want to start with the comic, I think, at least, even if that just ends up becoming storyboards for a film. I don't know, because I don't know the first thing really about making a film. I've never made a film myself. I'm a producer on a few fan films right now, so I'm learning about it. But I know about storytelling, and the technical stuff of making a film is beyond me. So, but I do know some folks that may be able to help out. So we may see a little team up here. Who knows? The first step is to finish writing the script, and at the very least put together, there's an opening scene that I have written that I think is a fantastic opening scene for the story, and at least put together a proof of concept for that scene so we can take that to people and show people the style that we're going for, and then we can maybe usher in some support due to that. Sorry guys, I got a little bit of the sniffles here. Hated the ending of Pretty Little Liars. Need to, oh yeah, I already got that one. Did I miss the poll for the next movie date with Davey and Kate? No, Raymond, you did not. I still have to put it up. I'm so sorry. I fell behind on that one. The good thing is though, we probably won't do it here for another week or so. We'll come back with movie date with Davey and Kate. So thank you for reminding me though. I will put up a poll after this stream. There'll be a poll. So guys, keep an eye out for that one. Okay. Hated the ending of Pretty Little Liars. This is great. I love his bottom 4, RZ2, Ends, 6, and Resurrection. Yeah, you know, I get a couple of those. Carbonite Dreams, what's happening? Welcome to the chat. I know it's not a popular take, but H4, H5, and 6 don't count to me. I don't even own them. Woo! That's a spicy take, Jamie. Yeah, I think H4 gets like so much love for essentially being like a reboot. Soft reboot. The Mask is dreadful. I mean, the Mask is dreadful in part 5 too, right? I like the Mask in 6. I think 6 is probably the best, or at least my favorite out of those, even though the ending, both versions of the ending just doesn't really make sense for part 6 for Curse, but that movie just really grows on me the more and more I watch it. I think George P. Wilbur's such a better Michael in 6 than he is in 4, for sure. Let's hop on over here and get Intruder out of here. Excuse my sniffles. Well, we pretty much already talked about Terrifier 2, right? You guys know I'm going to review that today. Review is dropping sometime this week. Real quick, though, I do want to talk about that music again. Holy shit. Paul Wiley's score is awesome. Even from the first Terrifier, it's amazing. I can see myself listening to that music, you know, during work or something like that. Like putting on John Carpenter and then putting on the Terrifier soundtrack. So can't take that away from that first film. The music is incredible. And the music in the second film is amazing as well. Not only Paul Wiley's score, but also the pop tracks that they've put in there. Is it the Midnight or something like that is the name of the band that has that synth pop song that opens up when Sienna is creating her costume at the beginning. Really, really great song that they dip back into that song as the movie goes on. But just a lot of really good synth pop. You know, popping up there in Terrifier 2. And then let's see here. Oh, you know what? I'm really excited to announce this one for you guys. Maybe some of you already saw it. The Horror Show channel, Cecil from Horror Show already, he did a like a state of the channel address talking about they're doing 3 brand new shows over there at the Horror Show channel and bringing back a show that they haven't had on there for a while. So really excited for that, especially this one right here, Horror from the High Desert. I am going to be a panel member or just a member of that show. It'll be once a month on the Horror Show channel. So it's going to be Cecil Laird, obviously, myself, Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema, and Braden Timmons from the Braden Timmons channel. So yeah, really looking forward to that. We all live in the Phoenix area. And so Cecil had this idea, why don't we do, you know, like talk about like horror movie news and then also pick a topic once a month to cover. So the very first one, because it is Horror from the High Desert, we are going to discuss horror films that take place in the desert. So yeah, guys, you're going to get The Hills Have Eyes talk, Tremors, probably The Hitcher, From Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, there are so many. I know I'm going to miss like dozens if I try to name them all right now, but that just gives you kind of a gist of what we're going to be covering there. It'll be, I believe, June 21st, Friday, June 21st. Let me check the calendar. Yep. So it'll be, we'll just pick a Friday every month to go live with that show. Really looking forward to that one. That's one of the goals I had when I started the channel, guys, was not only to gain a following over here, but to be able to make friends with other content creators and do collaborations. So, you know, Cecil's been so awesome, took me under his wing very early on in my life as a YouTuber, which was, you know, it helped build my confidence that he saw something in me and wanted to bring me onto his channel. And then also it was great because he's got a pretty large audience, right? I mean, they're over 50,000 subs over there. So really cool to, you know, have somebody that's in that standing, you know, bring you into that, they're part of that world. I think it really helped not only me develop my personality and everything for on air, but I'm sure it helped some of you guys find the channel. So, you know, doing something like this with him, Braden, and Jason is a dream to be able to have, you know, a show where it can get more exposure for the audience over here on the Davey Death Ray channel. And also, you know, it's great to feel just included as, you know, a monthly guest, as it were, over there on the Horror Show channel. And I would imagine, you know, I'll still pop in for reviews over there every now and then, just depending on who's available, because Cecil, they've got a really big team over there, but sometimes they don't have availability. So when that's the case, I drive out to Chandler and go check out a movie with Cecil. It's always a total blast hanging out with those guys over there at the Horror Show channel. So really looking forward to that. Keep an eye out for that coming up on June 21st. Here's a second little ad just to show it off a little bit more. Boom. Look at those handsome faces. Look at that. Yeah. Braden's been using that picture. I went back on YouTube, or I was scrolling through something, and I saw a video from like 3 years ago where it was that same picture. So I'm like, man, that's what I gotta do. Just find the right picture and use it for years, right? All right. Agreed. You're going to make someone we've never met before. Talking that Pretty Little Liar still. All right. That scene with Annie and Sheriff Brackett is heartbreaking in RZ's H2. Absolutely, Chunky Jordy. My Chunky Jordy. Yeah. One of the great scenes in the franchise. I mean, Brad Dourif's like arguably his greatest performance from a guy that has so many memorable performances. I mean, even just as Chucky, he's got a whole bunch, but also like, let's not forget that he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest that won Best Friggin' Picture. So like Brad Dourif is, you know, a class A actor that just, you know, once he delved into the horror world, it seemed like the mainstream didn't really welcome him back. But man, he's been amazing and transformative in so many roles. T. Parker Evans says, I just don't care for Halloween Resurrection or RZ Halloween 2. I don't get any enjoyment out of them, but I love or enjoy all other 11 films. Yeah, I can see that. I've just met so many people that don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Resurrection, yeah, I mean, to me, it's just sort of like a laugh. So it's like if I'm in the mood for that kind of movie, there was a point where I thought I'd never watch Resurrection again. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just kind of in the mood for this like cheesy, nonsensical weirdness. And there are a few shots where the mask looks pretty okay, right? And yeah, I mean, RZ's Halloween 2, look, I'm not here to try to convince anybody. But I certainly enjoy it way more than his remake. I'd put his remake towards the end of my ranking, towards the bottom, just because I don't think it's necessary. I don't see really what it does. Jamie says, speaking of cancel culture, have you guys seen the new Eminem video, Houdini? I already have the words memorized. I saw it pop up on YouTube, but I have not seen it. I just haven't really kept up with Eminem's career past like the second record. I don't know what it is. I'm just terrible. I'm terrible with hip hop, Jamie. Gavin said, gonna be a good review. Whoever recommended Intruder has such good taste and is probably an awesome person. Absolutely, Gavin. Happy birthday to you again. I'll just keep on saying that. Gavin also says Shane Gillis was in the new Eminem video, so I did watch it, Jamie. Yeah, Shane Gillis is hilarious. Also, speaking of cancel culture, Kate says, lol, Gavin, Intruder was good. Glad I finally saw it. I finally watched it. There's a couple scenes in Rob Zombie's H2 I like, but overall not a movie I like. Yeah, I totally can understand that, you know. I've seen all the 31 on 31 and never minded the rankings, but the comedy one they just did made me heated for some reason. Yeah, I haven't seen those yet. ranking because they're just ranking like random videos, right? Is that what it is? You're not even really ranking. There's not like a certain criteria or anything like that. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like those kind of ranking videos probably don't really interest me very much. I like the tier ranking of like, we're going to rank, you know, Dave McCrae did like, let's rank the Halloween timelines. Like that's something I'm kind of interested in, right? The image of you with Sasha playing. The image of you, is that a movie with Sasha Pietiers playing twins was a better story than Pretty Little Liars. Oh yeah, it must be a movie that one woman's in, right? Where she does like, does she do two different accents? Oh no, she does two different accents in Pretty Little Liars, right? I'm like way out of my element because I've walked in while Kate's watching Pretty Little Liars. I've seen it in the background while working on videos, but like I really don't know what I'm talking about. I don't love H2, but I respect Rob saying F you to the Weinsteins. Yeah, that's the Weinsteins need that every now and then. Mulholland Drive is a masterpiece. If you don't understand it, I can help with that. All right. You guys are all, this is amazing. The Pretty Little Liars. So like last week it was Lance Henriksen, or was it that the week before? I can't even remember. I love the, you know, all where the chat veers off to. It's amazing. Barry says, and yes, let's pencil in that H2O video soon, Davey. Absolutely, Barry. Yeah. Reach out whenever you're ready or you've got some dates and we can certainly take a look at that. I am so far behind in the chat. Let's see here. Yeah, and Barry says Wolf Twisted Locker are Welsh, very close to me. Yeah, same time zone and everything, Barry. Have you checked out their channel? I really dig their stuff. I think you'd like it. If you like what we do over here, there you go. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, man. When you sub to this channel, Barry, it was like, I think I got like you had subbed and Chris Stanley had subbed like in the same week. And I don't even think I was at like 300 people at that point. And it really, though it felt like getting 100 subs, right? When people that you've watched, people that are so successful with what they do end up subbing to your channel, it is, man, it really bolsters that confidence. It makes you feel so good. And Ryan Olashow is in the chat, sub to Twisted Locker as well. That's awesome, guys. Please, I encourage you, if you're not already subbed, pop on over there really quick, sub to them, come right back to the chat. We'll be hanging out for about another 25 minutes or so. So you've still got some time. I would love to be able to hop off this stream and be able to check their sub count and see that it's popped up for them. And that would, you know, guys, I talk about it all the time on the channel. I know I haven't brought it up here on this stream, so I might as well step up on my little tiny soapbox and say that we're here to lift each other up. You know, I'm here to get to know you guys better, to get to know content creators better and build that sense of community. One of the best ways we can do that is subbing to people when we enjoy their videos, interacting with them in the comments section, of course, liking their videos. If you're enjoying something on YouTube, you know, you might as well do those things. Those are all free. And then if you have a little bit of extra time, you can recommend the channel to somebody that you know that you think would really enjoy it, right? That's the best thing you can do for channels that are out there trying to make something. I truly believe it. Here in the YouTube sphere, there is room for everyone. There's never a time when I'm like, I don't have time to listen to this or that, because we always get in a car and go drive somewhere, or you hop in the shower and could put on, you know, something just to listen to, right? So I even, depending on the channel, like I might listen to some people while I'm like kind of calming down for getting ready for bed. So just depending on what the channel is, right? So plenty of that. The pie is massive. There's plenty of room for everyone to have a good sizable slice. If you haven't subscribed to Davey yet, please do. Let's get him to 1K. Yeah, Raymond. Man, I would be so surprised to find out that anyone in the chat hasn't subbed yet. You know, maybe we need to hop on a call and I need to strong arm you into it. If you're in the chat and you haven't subbed yet, what the heck are you doing? Yeah, we're trying to get to 1K by August. I don't know if we're going to make the mark, guys. Things have kind of slowed down here on the sub count, honestly. And I don't know why that is. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to make Late Night with the Davey a little bit shorter, focus on 2 guests, and then also chop those interviews up so I could post those interviews as their own, you know, kind of like just a video that's not in the live section, because we need to get more traction on the channel if we're going to reach our goal of 1,000 subs by August. Of course, even if we fall short of that goal, I'm going to be so happy and proud of everything that we've done together. And I know that we'll be able to reach that number at some point, right? So yeah, we'll just keep on chugging along. And the way that I operate is I always just pretend that there's a million people out there watching. That's the way I go. So I'll be continuing the same kind of energy, and hopefully even, you know, having that energy raise as we go on here, or rise as we go on here. Carbonite Dream says, already sub to you, Wolfman. Anybody else put out content, I'll sub. Boom, there it is. I'm a big Sam Raimi. I'm a big Sam Raimi too, Ashton. Love Sam Raimi. Late again, says Tyler. What has my life become? Quite all right, Tyler. Quite all right. You can always catch up, and we'll be going for a little bit longer here. So I do want to move on to the last little item that we have here for you guys. You know, returning in the month of June. I don't believe we've settled on a date yet, because Foz Rotten is moving. He's in the process of moving right now. But we've got Movie Punks coming right back at you. We are taking a look at Repo Man. Look at that thumbnail. Just look at how the title pops off there. That is just gorgeous. Who put together that thumbnail? Whoever it is very, very good at thumbnails. Not as good as Barry from Wolfman Got Nards, okay? Not as good as him. Who now, guys, if you have your own channel and you need help with thumbnails, Barry is doing thumbnail by hire, sort of like a hired gun in the Old West, except for, you know, he's not going to kill anyone for you, but he may, you know, bring some more views to your vids with his killer thumbnails. Barry's got top-notch thumbnail game, so no playing around with him on that. But yeah, Foz Rotten and I are coming back this month for to cover Repo Man on Movie Punks, which, man, it doesn't get more punk rock than a movie like Repo Man, right? I mean, I believe SST did the soundtrack to that, so you got like Black Flag. I think Fear is in there, or maybe am I confusing? Is Fear is in Return of the Living Dead? I could be wrong, but a whole bunch of great punk rock bands from the 80s. You can feel the sweat and dirt like when you watch Repo Man. It's just got that hot LA 80s punk kind of feel. Really looking forward to covering that with Foz. That'll probably be later on in the month because of his move and everything. But I did want to give you guys a little something for Movie Punks, because it's been a while since we've talked about it. And let's see what you guys are saying here. Trying to catch up with all the chat here. You guys are all chit-chatting with each other. This is great. Boom. Nice one. We share the Appalachian Mountains with the USA. After the continents split, we share them. That's crazy. So that part of the Appalachians are over there in Scotland. I never knew that. Never knew that. If I were to make a zombie movie, I would make something very artistic looking. Kinda, says Medley Man. Well, yeah, I mean, you got to find your own kind of look to it, right? Like, you don't want to just do something that's been done before exactly, right? It's always about kind of furthering that and paying homage to what came before, but finding, carving out your own space. Davey actually just planted a really cool idea for a movie in my head. Don't steal my idea. Don't steal my idea, Medley Man. Tyler saying what's up to Kate. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Jamie. That's wild to me. And Tyler Adams says Dead Winter sounds tight. It does sound tight. And then it's all, you know, that's the thing with ideas and creative works, right? It's like the idea is the easy part. You know, really, when you look at the whole thing, like, it's not easy to come up with a good idea, but relative to all the work that gets put into like taking an idea that you like and then fleshing it out to a full story that makes sense, that's well written, proper motivation, good dialogue, like, you know, story beats that lead into one another, and then, you know, maybe something that wraps throughout the whole entire story. Like those are the difficult things. So while I am very encouraged by the idea, there's so much work that has to be done. I mean, just to get the first scene done will take quite a bit of work. So yeah, we'll just see. Yeah, Barry says, yeah, so parts of Scotland just look just like the Appalachian Mountains. They filmed The Descent here in Scotland, and it was set in the Appalachian Mountains. Oh, crazy. I love The Descent, Barry. That's one of my favorite horror movies. It's amazing. Good shit. Good shit. And then Barry says the Midnight is my favorite band. Yeah. As I was watching Terrifier 2, I was like, man, Paul Wiley did this song too. This is so like different. And then when I looked up the soundtrack on Spotify, I was like, oh, it is different. Yeah, it is different. And I didn't know them by name. There's so much synth pop that I hear out there, and then I never get the band's name, right? Admittedly, I'll say that that's on me. So Jamie asks, Barry, are you part of the clan system? I come from Clan Robertson. We've got a tartan and a family crest and stuff. It's pretty cool to feel so connected to my ancestry. Yeah, and then Jamie, my family, my last name is Conway, which is an Irish name, and they, same kind of thing. Like all the Irish names, they all have like their family crests and all that kind of stuff. And Barry is part of Clan Cameron. Our family fought alongside William Wallace. That's pretty awesome stuff, man. That's pretty cool. And you guys are talking amongst each other. That is great. Raymond said, I watched a desert movie the other day called The Fear Way. Nice. I've never heard of that one. My Chucky Jordy says they're funny at times, Medley, but nothing like From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, must have asked a question up there that I missed. I apologize. Sometimes getting all the chat is can be kind of tough. Aaron says there are too many great horror-centric YouTube channels. A good problem for sure. Absolutely. And, as the channel grows, it would be fun to cover stuff that's, also just a little bit outside of horror. I think that's the cool thing about Movie Date with Davey and Kate is we've kind of been going back and forth between horror and non-horror. So, kind of like doing that. Because I enjoy so much that isn't horror. But of course, YouTube rewards you for being consistent with that kind of topic. So, I gotta get that viewership up, All right. Barry says, I can't use pictures of me in my thumbnails. I feel like I'm duping the viewers when they see an older version of myself. That's funny. That's why I just continually take new pictures. It's ridiculous. I have way too many pictures. I've never taken so many pictures of myself before starting a YouTube channel, and then it just flew off the handle. There it is. I'm going to put the cliche out there that I can have fun with all the Halloween films, but for some of them, to make fun of them. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Aaron. Halloween is probably my favorite franchise, but man, there are some stinkers in there, right? So I think it's just for me, like I love Michael so much. Just really, really love that character. And I think he's the most interesting to me, even though he doesn't talk. Even though, as Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel will say, he's the walking wall. And yeah. Wait. My Chucky Jordy, I thought Eminem had passed a few years ago. Yeah, I guess he just hasn't been super active. I don't know. There is a different theme and set of movies for each 31 on 30. You should at least do the Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street one. Okay. Let's see here. Eminem was the best part of the Super Bowl halftime show a couple years ago. Yeah, you guys got your Eminem talk. This is great. Jamie's quoting the lyrics. This is amazing. My Chucky Jordy says, I live in England and heard some story my friend was listening to about his demise and how there were clones popping up. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know about that. That sounds wild. To me, it seems like the same guy, right? You couldn't replicate that rap style, could you? Maybe you could. I don't know. Do more rankings. They seem to be your best performing videos. Yeah, they do well. Absolutely, Medley Man. They do well. The thing about the rankings, though, is like I like to go back and watch all the movies. So depending on like which series it is, like it takes time to like watch all those movies, that is the struggle with those. But I agree. I think, what do you guys think about me doing those like those tier ranking, where I just use that tier maker? I think I brought it up last week. That might be a fun thing where we could just do one of those a week, right? I just hop on live and we rank something like, I think we were even joking. Somebody had brought up food last week and it's like, all right, so you could rank like best theater snacks, something like that. Just to, kind of do something fun and silly. And Medley Man says also make that Discord. You can totally get subs through that. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. God, there's just so much to keep up on. I've got a full-time job and I've got a family. So it's, I'm trying to just keep up on the basic stuff like making the videos and engaging with you guys. So that's where the focus is right now. Certainly, though, Medley Man, if you become a patron, you've got like exclusive access to You know, you can make a request for a review. You get early access to the pre-recorded videos. At some point, you know, maybe by the time I've got over 10 Patreon members, I'd be able to do exclusive live streams over there. So live streams that don't ever come over here to YouTube, which would be really cool. And then of course there's you know, you're able to message me, and I'll definitely give those messages that are sent through Patreon priority. Absolutely. And then Jamie says, I'll be back to putting out content as soon as I get better. I'm fighting an illness, trying to get control, but I have big plans. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that you're going through something right now, Jamie, but I will say some prayers for you and put out some good vibes for you as well. I hope you're back at it as soon as you're ready, and that you come at it with a brand new energy. That would be great to see. And of course, you know, once you get back to creating content, let's bring you on, you know, on Late Night with the Davey and have a chat and get to know you a little bit better over there. Tyler says, got my movie date with Davey and Kate pint glass and my Movie Punks camping mug. Pretty quick shipping. They came 2 or 3 days ago. And how do they look, Tyler? Do they look all right? I'm interested to know. Let me know how everything is looking. I want to know if the quality is looking good to you. Jamie Hart saw Repo Man in theaters. Jeez, every movie ever. Aaron says, Davey, do you drink? If so, what's your favorite alcoholic beverage? What's your favorite non-alcoholic beverage? I took a huge break from drinking between like October and like April. And, you know, since then, maybe like once a week or something like that, I'll have something like, you know, really not very often. The goal was to prevent it from being, I don't want it to be a lifestyle thing that I do every day, because it was at that point. So I want to make sure that if I'm enjoying an alcoholic beverage, that I'm doing it very responsibly. So saving it for the right time of the week and making sure I, you know, keep it reasonable. So I would say like favorite alcoholic beverage, it's really tough to beat like a good like tequila soda with a squeeze of lime. Like it's kind of like a margarita, but just not as like sweet and soury as most people would imagine like a traditional margarita, like a little bit more of a sophisticated margarita. There's just something, I don't know what it is. Like one tequila drink is like the perfect amount for me, especially now that I'm not drinking. It's like you have one and it, you know, gives you that feeling and it's got a great taste. As far as, I mean, I also love like, you know, I think old fashions taste really, really good. I like, you know, I think beer tastes really good. So now that we're in the hot season here in the Phoenix area, lighter beers like lagers, kolsch's, pilsners, that would be my go-to. Favorite non-alcoholic beverage, I really love coffee. Like I drink iced coffee most of the year. Sometimes in the winter here in Phoenix, in the morning, like on the weekends or something, I'll have like a warm cup of coffee. I just think it tastes like, I taste the full flavor of the coffee so much better when it's cold for whatever reason. So really enjoy coffee. As far as like a refreshing non-alcoholic drink, Kate and I have been into those lollipops lately. They're like the sodas that only have like 3 to 5 grams of sugar or something like that. Most of them are really good. I think we had one that we didn't like, but most of them very, very good. So a little bit on the expensive side, but we like split the soda, and yeah, you don't feel too guilty about it. Been there, yeah. And Carbonite Dreams has subbed to Jamie. Awesome. I got to go over there and give you a sub, Jamie. Absolutely, yeah. Because I don't know if I've done that yet, so I'll have to go over there and do just that. Medley Man says, my idea is like an old Western village set the entire time at night while people sleep, getting attacked by a zombie. I feel like you could make a bunch of really artsy shots with that concept. I do think that the Old West is underutilized when it comes to horror. There are, you know, certainly there are some of those movies like The Burrowers and stuff like that, but you know, that's a good idea, Medley Man. In fact, I want to do like an Evil Dead film that's set in the Old West. I think that would be really cool. And it would be funny because Sam Raimi did that movie called The Quick and the Dead. It would be so hilarious to do a movie called The Quick and the Evil Dead. I mean, well, and that's the thing too, is like, if I did that movie, I probably wouldn't try to do it as a fan film. Without showing the Book of the Dead and without calling them Deadites, I would pretty much do a demonic possession movie where the demons very much so behave like the Deadites from the Evil Dead franchise, but we wouldn't actually say that, because I think that would be really interesting. Same kind of idea had struck me, Medley Man, where it's just like I'm thinking like an Evil Dead in the Old West, and it's just like one day. Like one day is all you get, you know, maybe a weekend, you know. But I think the fun thing about the Evil Dead is you really like you compress it into that time, because the Deadites are so aggressive that, you know, you figure the longest somebody could live with a Deadite around them, because they're just going to multiply, right? 12 hours max is probably as long as you make it. So it's funny, like I tossed that idea around on Twitter, and Vincent DeSanti over at Womp Stomp was like, can I direct? And we're, you know, we're buddies. So I'm like, well, hey, that's an idea right there that would be really fun to do with a guy like Vin, right? And of course, you know, if Vin wanted to get in on Dead Winter once we have that idea more fleshed out, certainly would not be against that at all. Definitely would love to have that conversation. What's happening, Jeezy Corn Pop? Welcome to the chat. No worries about being a little late. We've just been talking about what we covered on the channel this last week, and what we got coming up on the channel this week and later on in the month. Let's see here. Andrew Stevens says, back to horror. If they decide to continue that legacy TCM movie, where can they go plot wise? I don't know where you go with that one, right? Because it's such an isolated, like, you know, standalone kind of movie, right? I mean, Leatherface isn't going to follow those people, or the one woman that gets away. I don't know where you would take that. I think that's one of the missteps of that movie. Like, you should always plan for being able, when it comes to slashers, you should always plan to be able to follow it up. So the only way they could follow it up with the way they ended it is a brand new group of people comes back, or the girl that got away at the end of this one comes back for revenge and brings like enforcements. And then you've got like, hopefully like a different feel of a movie. I always feel like sequels should kind of do that, where, you know, you don't need to rehash the same beats from the first film. So if they wanted to follow this one up, they've got the girl that survives. She comes back. She's totally changed from the events. Like, she's kind of a badass, but still learning. And she's gone out and found some like badass, like hillbilly people or whatever, that will go back there and help her take care of Leatherface. But maybe Leatherface even has some of his own reinforcements when they show back up. That's just off the top of my head. Raymond says, Davey, is there a movie you love that you feel is underrated or a guilty pleasure nobody talks about? Guilty pleasure that nobody talks about. Well, I think my guilty pleasure has probably got to be Josie and the Pussycats from 2001 with Rachel Lee Cook, Rosario Dawson, Alan Cumming, Tara Reid, Eugene Levy. I mean, Parker Posey. So many people are in that movie. That movie is amazing. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I think it's underrated, and also I guess I could call it a guilty pleasure because essentially it was made for kids, but there's a PG-13 cut that's got a few more adult-leaning jokes. I still think the movie's hilarious, regardless. And I guess like more underrated movies I really love. We've talked about them a couple times here on the channel. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, I think, is so underrated. I think The Changeling with George C. Scott from 1980 is a horror movie that's totally underrated as well. I'm trying to think of more like guilty pleasures. Like something that I might be ashamed to let you know that I really like. I can't really think of anything that's like a true guilty pleasure. I'm pretty open about the things I like. I'm not very shy about them. So I don't think I have a guilty pleasure necessarily. Maybe like more guilty pleasures when it comes to music. Although, you know, like Max had said during our interview on Late Night with the Davey this last week, he said, the older I get, the more I realize there aren't guilty pleasures. There's just like music that I enjoy. And I had never like had that thought exactly myself, but definitely some of the music I listen to where I'm like, oh, enjoying Phil Collins, is that a guilty pleasure? And I'm like, well, I really fucking love it. Like, so I don't feel very guilty about loving Phil Collins music. I mean, maybe not every song. I mean, I more so the stuff that's like a bit more rockin'. But that record, No Jacket Required, whew, holy crap, that record's a ripper for the most part. I'm a sucker for ranking videos, says Carbonite Dreams. I prefer just least favorite to most favorite. Okay. Yeah, let's work some of those into what we do. Guys, let me know in the chat, do you want to see me do tier ranking videos live, or do you want them pre-recorded? Let me know, because I want to make sure that we can, even if we go live, I'll probably, truncate it and break it down so we can drop it as a pre-recorded video as well, instead of just being on the live stream. But let me know if that's something you guys want to get involved with. Tier ranking live streams are fun and interactive. It's a win-win. I say do it. Medley Man says I would 1000% participate in that tier list idea. Awesome. Tyler says obviously Raisinets. Well, no, maybe on your ranking, Tyler. No, I'm just joking. Medley Man says I'm actually thinking of becoming a patron. Yeah, guys. So on Patreon, it is, I've got Gavin as a patron, and Antonis is also a patron over there. So they've both been able to request their own movies to review. We've got, a bit of a discourse in there where we've got like a chat going, and I still need to do behind the scenes stuff. I'm working up towards everything because, I want to be able to provide content for these guys. Because they're the only two patrons. And then also there's still just the regular channel. So I'm working up to having a better schedule to where I really will be able to drop like a video a day or two ahead of time on Patreon before it hits YouTube. Now, when we get to the point, hopefully, where the Patreon has, a dozen members or more, then I'm going to do my best to like let those pre-recorded videos sit there for like a good chunk before they hit YouTube, because I want to reward you guys for putting your money back into the channel. And yeah, I mean, I've invested so much, into the channel as far as equipment goes and time and all that kind of stuff. So, anything that you guys are able to do that goes above and beyond just liking and subscribing, which is absolutely amazing and awesome and definitely enough. But if you want to go above and beyond and become a patron, that is amazing. And yeah, guys, we are getting closer to being able to unlock, membership on YouTube as well. So I need to just rack up more hours of watch. It's like they call it watch hours, public watch hours. So I need to rack up more of those before that unlocks membership. The cool thing about that is not only does it unlock the membership, it unlocks things like super chats and the stickers and all that kind of fun stuff. So even if you guys don't want to be a member and don't want like a monthly drip coming out of your bank account through Patreon or through the membership, you'd be able to drop a super chat if you wanted to, which I think is really cool. I love, not all the time am I in that spot where I can do that, but it is a really, like for me as an audience member, it is a good feeling to be like, you know what, I really enjoy what this person does. I know it's just a drop in the bucket, but I want to throw a few bucks their way. And it feels good to get that little bit of love when they read your comment and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, Medley Man, think no more. Just go on over there and check it out. And yeah, it's only going to get better and have more content as we go on. It's still relatively new for me. So, and of course, if you sign up, reach out, shoot me a message. Let me know if there's some sort of perk or something that you're not seeing on that list that you would like to have me add. I'm always open to suggestions, guys. I say this all the time. You guys are the shareholders. I'm just the CEO. So the channel is nothing without you all. So please let me know your suggestions. The stuff about like the ranking videos and doing them as a live stream is a great idea. So like when you guys have something that you want to see me do, please, by all means, let me know, because you guys fuel this channel. You guys make me, I get done with one video and I'm like, well, what's the next one? Like I just finished editing the Terrifier review yesterday, and then I watched Terrifier 2 and I'm going to shoot the review for Terrifier 2 today. It's like, I'm always just like, what's the next thing I can do for you guys? So, even though the channel does bring, certain rewards to me, absolutely. And, to me, it feels like it keeps me more mentally fit to be creative just in and of itself. The channel isn't just about like me and what I want. It's about you guys. You guys are active participants here. So I want to make sure that we're keeping your attention and that we're listening, right? I mean, that's a big part of it all. So yeah, check it out. Check it out there, Medley Man, and let me know what you want to see. And if you end up signing up, let me know which film you want to see me review. Now, as we grow in membership, I won't be able to do a review for every single member every month, but I will put a poll out there and let you guys like vote on which movie gets to be the Patreon review. And I'll probably do those. I would imagine like maybe do 2 of those a month for starters. And then, gosh, maybe the channel will grow so much that the only reviews I'll do are reviews that come at the request of you guys, other than like brand new movies, which really would be just movies that I'm interested in seeing, like Longlegs, Alien Romulus, Maxine, stuff like that. Jamie says, I would love to be on Late Night with the Davey. Let's make it happen. When you are ready, miss, don't hesitate. Reach out and let me know. Yeah, even if it's something you want to get booked now, reach out and we'll get it put together here. Whiskey sours are usually my choice of drink. All right, there it is. Haven't had a drink in 5 months, says Carbonite Dreams. Well, I bet your body is way happy for it, you know? Like, you know, is the buzz worth everything else? I just don't know if it is, you know? I drink Stella and Baby Guinness, which is Bailey's mixed with Tia Maria or Kahlua. Interesting, Baby Guinness. I've never heard of that. Guinness is a very, very tasty beer. I think Guinness is top notch. Love it. And a lot of people don't know this because it's such a heavy looking beer, but Guinness is, as far as calories are considered, is one of the lightest beers out there. It's right around like Coors Light, Bud Light, all that kind of stuff. Aaron says absinthe is my favorite alcoholic beverage. And I really like coffee, but I try to only have 1 cup in the morning and 1 in the early evening. That's a good way to do it. Asylum Beyond the Dead's in the chat. What's happening, Asylum Beyond the Dead? Welcome to the chat. We are probably going to be going here for just a few more minutes. Jamie says, all my live streams end up being 4 to 5 hours because I insist on giving everyone equal attention. I can't believe people want to hear me ramble on like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Even this stream here, we're going on 2 hours. It feels like it just started, Jamie. That's once I get the headphones on and I'm in the zone and I'm talking to you guys, like, it is so easy just to kind of get carried away with it all, you know? So I'm going to put that back up there as we wrap up here. Davey, what's your favorite kill from Halloween H2O? My favorite kill from Halloween H2O. It's probably got to be the, I can't remember her name, but the girl that gets her leg broken in the kitchen lift. And then in like the dumbwaiter, and then, you know, she's like hung up by the light bulb. That's probably my favorite kill. There's not many in that one, huh? Nurse Marion at the beginning. I mean, that's probably my favorite scene in H2O because Michael's got the H6 mask on. It's the best Michael looks in the whole entire movie. They should have just kept that mask. I understand why they didn't do it because they didn't want people to think that it followed Curse of Michael Myers, but I do think it's a way better mask than any of the 4 masks that they have in that movie. And then Chris from Movie Misfits. What's happening, Chris Snyder? Guys, if you don't sub over at Movie Misfits, you are missing out. Go over there, give him a sub. He is working on some really cool projects that are taking him away a little bit from doing as much live stuff as he's used to. But guys, it's going to be worth it. When you work on these pre-recorded videos, all of them take time. And then when you're putting together something that's like a much more involved project where Chris is covering, you know, who killed who in the Scream franchise from the killer's perspective, it's a really cool idea. And it's an interesting way of like looking at that story through a different lens. So he's putting together this whole series of videos, and I have no doubt they're going to be really impressive when they start dropping. So guys, you will miss out on that if you don't go over there to Movie Misfits right now and sub. Don't miss it. Really fun stuff. He says, hey guys, working right now, but wanted to pop in and send some love. Keep rocking it, brother. Absolutely, Chris. And you as well, man. Hope you have a great rest of your day at work. Deadites wipe out a mining town. There it is, Tyler. Boom, yeah. Boo, boom, yeah. Boom, booyah. How about both of those? My movie would just be about a single slow moving zombie. I like that idea. Yeah. Like a tumbleweed blowing through the town, right? That's good stuff. Zombie pretty much has free reign. That's I like that. I like it. Damn fine coffee and hot. All during a single night. There you go. Yep. Allie, why? Yes, he can. Love me some Womp Stomp Films. Guys, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Absolutely. You guys are so good at hitting that like button. I don't even have to remind you. Every time when I get done with one of these live streams, I'm just like, oh, these guys are amazing. Look at this. So much love. My favorite kill from Halloween H2O is when Michael killed Nurse Marion. Well, he doesn't bite off the top of her head, but he does kill Nurse Marion. You're into the biting off the top of the head. All right, let's see here. Stay Alive 2006 is my answer for guilty pleasure that's not talked about. I've never even heard of that movie, so you guys are gonna have to teach me about Stay Alive. Josie and the Pussycats needs more love. Absolutely. Chris says The Changeling is a great pick. This is how far behind I am on the chat. This is embarrassing. All right. There we go. Raymond, we're on the same page. Yeah, absolutely. I guess my guilty pleasure is Dirty Dancing. It's in my top 25 of all time. That's certainly a guilty pleasure. You should feel shameful. I'm just joking, Barry. Phil Collins rules. I like to call him Phi Call, almost like he's a fraternity. My favorite fraternity. Just ask Patrick Bateman. Absolutely. That's too funny. All right. I'm going to catch up here with you guys because I feel like I'm so far behind. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Yeah, guys, you know what's so funny is I thought my whole life growing up, I thought that he meant that like figuratively. And then the first time I saw the movie, I was like, oh my God, he means literally nobody puts baby in a corner. Like that is so strange to me. That is just bizarre, right? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Raymond said, I would do Patreon and memberships and buy merch, but I don't have much money. Well, and that's why, you know, I totally get that. And that's, you know, showing up for the videos, showing up for the live streams, clicking the like button, you know, and subbing as you do, Raymond, and, you know, sharing it with others. That's enough, you know. That's why I just like to say that it's if for folks that want to go above and beyond, I know that not everyone's in that spot, myself included. It just depends on, you know, what's going on with life. So no pressure at all to become a member. But I do like to offer up those, you know, added perks for the folks that do want to, you know, get those memberships going. Jamie says, I'm a stay-at-home mom and wife. I live at the good graces of hubby's paycheck. I would love to support more people on Patreon, but I have to be frugal. Yeah, me too. Can't do it all. Can't do it all. Medley man, I totally agree with you on that one. I am 100%. Yeah, I mean, even if it's illegal in your state, go ahead and do it, right? Because you're not violating the rights of anyone else. So, all right. Let's see here. Catching up. It's called Baby Guinness because it looks like a Guinness. You put the two. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you make the mixed drink and you just call it a Baby Guinness. What? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you know, at some point it'll be legal federally and no one will have to worry about it. 2 massive deep dive projects that's going to take up the rest of the year for Chris to work on, but very excited for you guys to see them. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, go over to Movie Misfits and give him a sub. If you don't already sub over there, you're missing out. Chris needs to take a break for a bit and appear on Late Night with the Davey. Yeah, you know, I think so. What that's a good point, Raymond. I think of course, I want to have Chris on Late Night with the Davey. And just like he says here, just a matter of scheduling. You know, even if we have to, like, there's going to come a time, I know it, because some folks can't appear on Wednesdays. And then I've got people like Barry and Curtis and Steven from the Twisted Locker who are 8 hours ahead. And I'd love to have them like represented on that show. So I might do like little Late Night with the Davey offshoots that are pre-recorded segments. I don't know if I would air them live during the show, but it would be like Late Night with the Davey extra kind of thing. And it would just be a pre-recorded vid where it would feel very much like one of the episodes. It would have the same kind of camera and everything. But it would just be, you know, for their scheduling, just make it a bit easier. So I certainly want to do stuff like that. And with Chris's project, I want to make sure that he's got like a good handful of them out so people can go and kind of catch up and be there for the rest, or maybe even just you know, a few of them out. And of course, want to make sure that he's able to make that for sure. Raymond says you'd like Stay Alive, I think, Davey. All right. I got to check it out. Never even heard of it. Somebody shoot me a DM and remind me, because I will forget, I swear. What's happening, Chad? How you doing, man? Great to see you pop up in the chat. We are just wrapping up here, but Always great to see folks jumping in. Gosh, guys, we have 18 people. Can I even end the stream, or do I just have to keep on going? I don't know. It's a killer video game with Frankie Muniz and Sophia Bush. Great movie. So Stay Alive was a video game first and then a movie. I'm so confused. Oh my gosh, Stay Alive is great. It's about a computer game. Oh, computer game that kills you based on Elizabeth Bathory. Okay, interesting. Never even heard of that. That is wild. Phil Collins is cool. He made In the Air Tonight and fathered Lily Collins. Yeah, 2 hits right there. Absolutely. Stay Alive is 100% a guilty pleasure, says Chad. Okay, so it's that kind of movie. Fantastic guilty pleasure. Okay, awesome. So bad, but so goodish. I love that kind of stuff. I'm into that. I mean, some people might say that like the original Evil Dead is like kind of bad, right? Like it's just, I mean, I don't think so, but people might, you know, I've heard people that they think the original Evil Dead is a comedy. And I know that's where the series like took itself, but come on. If you're watching the original Evil Dead and you think that it's a straight up comedy, I think you're sorely mistaken. But man, I'll tell you what, when I was 21 living in Juneau still, and I was just like going out to bars and stuff like that, man, this one guy was like pretty tipsy, and I swear he wanted to fight with me because I didn't think that the original Evil Dead was a comedy film. Like he wanted to, like he was getting very pissed off for a difference in opinion about a genre of a movie. I don't know. Now you guys are talking about weed rights. Mid-afternoon with the Davy. Late night with the Davy. Tyler says, I need to make some big moves on TMNT 90 fan film this month if I really want to hit that August target. Well, hey, you know, if you need to adjust things, you got to find that balance, you know, Tyler. So I don't blame you. But it is fun to set those goals and to, you know, when you're able to find some extra time to dive into those projects. One thing that keeps me accountable is I tell you guys things. So like I'm telling you, I'm doing the Terrifier 2 review today. That means I have to do it today because I just told you. So now you're going to be expecting it. So there you go. I put myself in a corner. Nobody puts Davey in a corner. Stay Alive is an enjoyable mess. God, you guys are just all saying, can't recommend this kind of cheesy movie enough. I think The Evil Dead is slow, especially compared to all the other movies in the franchise. Yeah, I mean, a little bit to get going, but man, once that movie gets going, it really flies, Medley. It really flies. I think the original Evil Dead is still the best in the series. In my opinion, just my opinion. I know it doesn't look the slickest or cleanest out of all of them, but it is the movie that I love the most out of all of them. My second favorite is probably the Fede Alvarez 2013 version, which is not a remake, but a very good film with almost the same name. Because I think the original is The Evil Dead. Fede Alvarez is just Evil Dead. And you see Ash's car in the background. It is not a remake. It takes place in the same universe. And I think that one's the second best in the series because it matched the tone of the original so well. Jamie loves the whole Evil Dead with all of her purple heart. And, you know, not a bad film in the whole bunch. I think I got to stick to my guns and not hop on the last Ronin hype. Don't do it. Just do what you want to do. Because aren't they already putting together something for the last Ronin? So you don't want to seem samey as well. Because I think some studio is working on that. Medley, man, I am relatively lukewarm on Evil Dead Rise. I've seen it like 4 times. The most fun I had with Evil Dead Rise was watching it on the Dave McRae members only stream watch along. That was awesome. I do enjoy it. I mean, I think it's probably would rank like last in my ranking. But that's not really like that big of an indictment because I still think it's like a B- C+ film. The trailer, I thought that with what they showed in the trailer that they must have had some like an ace up their sleeve and some more heights to which they were going to take it. But I felt like ultimately when I watched the movie that the trailer gave away some of the bigger moments and the more shocking moments. And yeah, I felt like on Evil Dead Rise, they could have pushed it a little bit further. Felt like Fede Alvarez's version pushes it so much further than it had ever been before. And then Ash vs. Evil Dead pushes it really far in some episodes. And I wanted Evil Dead Rise to not only walk up to that line, which I think it does. It walks up to the Evil Dead line. Evil Dead line. It walks up to that line, but it doesn't go any further. I really wanted it to do that, and it didn't. But it's still a good movie, and what they're producing 2 new Evil Dead movies now, so I'm very hopeful. I think that Rob Tapert, Bruce Campbell, and Sam Raimi are amazing producers when you look at the quality that they've been able to keep within their franchise. The quality control is so high. You know, we wish that Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street had, you know, rights ownership the way that Evil Dead has it, and even the way that Halloween has it. Say what you want about the David Gordon Green trilogy. You know, what Malik Akkad does over there with Michael Myers has put him on the top of Horror Hill. And it's going to take a lot of work for Jason or Freddy to dethrone him at this point. And I'm not talking about like opinion wise dethrone him as far as how you feel as a character. I just mean the marketing with merchandise and also the films. I think what they've done with Michael in the last 5 years has been incredible, or 6 years has been incredible. And I would struggle to see a way that Jason and Freddy could even get close at this point. It would take a long time. I will have a nap on Wednesdays so I can stay up for late night more often. Yeah, and it's really not that bad. I know you wake up though really early, don't you, Allie? Yeah, I mean it starts at 9 o'clock your time, so it is relatively late. But I guess it's always going to start at 9 o'clock at your time, because you know when we switch times here in Arizona, we don't technically switch times; we just switch time zones. So it's a bit different here. Chunky Jordy was 8 when he saw Evil Dead. Holy cow, it's not a comedy. It made me ill for a week. Yeah, not a comedy. It might have like a couple comedic moments in it purposely, and maybe a couple unintentionally funny moments, like bookshelves falling on Ash incessantly, right? Aaron Click, no one puts Davey in a corner should be the name of a special segment. That'd be funny. That'd be too funny. Picture of Patrick Swayze and I. There isn't a single bad film in the whole bunch. I agree. Jamie says, do you collect physical media? I have that sweet Evil Dead box set. I don't have that box set, Jamie, but I do collect physical media. There's a show that I started on the channel. I kind of backed off doing it because it really wasn't getting the viewership, but it's called the Physical Media Show Off Show, where I go through an item that I'm pretty proud to own. Like I went through a 4-disc Dawn of the Dead box set that's got like the little comic in it. Is the 04 box set that came out, just DVDs, not Blu-ray, but it was a really great box. It has 3 different versions of the film and a whole disc of extras with a full-length documentary. Really, really cool shit. I've got this really awesome Spider-Man 2 box. I love Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock. I think it's one of the best superhero films of all time. And of course, Sam Raimi, great direction there. And yeah, I've got some fun pieces. I've got this Holy Grail, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, just over to my left. That comes with a book that's got the whole script. It even comes with a piece of the film that's in a little card. Really cool collector's item there. Most of the physical media I collect, though, nowadays, Jamie, are, you know, pieces of art like what I have behind me here. And then I also do, let me see here. I want to get all of this stuff off of there. There we go. So yeah, this piece here for Jaws is like one metal piece that I really, really love. And then I try to collect, of course, this is just your standard Evil Dead poster, but the other posters I have are from, you know, independent artists that do their own prints. And then also big time vinyl collector. So Kate and I have about 550 records in our collection. We've got a whole bunch of box sets, some really rare stuff, some exclusives that you have to be like a member of the artist to be able to get access to the box sets, all that kind of fun stuff. And so, yeah, if you want to check out some of my physical media collection, go ahead and check out that playlist on the channel for the Physical Media Show Off Show. And you can see a little bit of what I've shown off there. And let me know if you enjoy that show and if you want to see more of those. Really, I just got busy with the stuff that was actually getting viewership and the stuff that was exciting me a little bit more and exciting the audience. So, of course, when I get that Late Night with the Devil box set, that big old crazy box set, I'm going to have to, you know, probably hop on. Oops, sorry, guys. Probably going to have to hop on live and show that off to you guys. Let me see. I was trying to go around the microphone to bring this up. Sorry about that. Late Night with the Devil box. So maybe I can show it off to you guys right now here, just so you can take a look at it. Have you guys seen this box set? Let me know in the chat. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. Doesn't look like I'm finding it. All right, let's see. There we go. Maybe this is it. Nope, that's a video. Okay. You know what? I'm already over trying to look for it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen with you guys so you guys can take a look at this. But yeah, let me know if you check out those videos. Let me know if you want to see more of the physical media show off show, and we can go live with those guys. So let me share my screen here. Boom. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, guys, this is that box set that I was saying that my parents got me for my birthday. So it looks like it comes out the 4th of September. And look at all this, like posters, there's books, the Blu-ray, obviously, the fake TV guide, Conversations with the Devil is in there. And I think this is the VHS tape right there. So yeah, unbelievable. Let's take a look at everything that's listed here. I think my camera went through another blip. It seems like every hour the camera has a tough time when I run through XSplit. I'm gonna have to figure something else out. VHS containing the 1977 Night Owls original broadcast cut, replica TV guide, press kit with articles, ads, and featurettes, Conversations with the Devil, a 48-page artifact put together with the team behind Late Night with the Devil, custom designed rigid case, of course, 8 art cards, A3 reversible poster, limited edition number release. So there's behind the scenes reel, making of Night Owl's music, South by Southwest 2023 screening Q&A with directors and cast. There's an Easter egg feature and a behind the scenes still gallery. So yeah, really excited for that one there. And yeah, can't wait to show that off with you guys. We'll have to get into that when it arrives here in September. Let's see here. Catch up with you guys in the chat. I am gonna have to hop off here relatively shortly, but real quick, we got Nick Push's Horror Channel in the chat. Davey Deathray is owning the Sunday matinee time frame. What's up, my man, and everyone? How's it going, Nick? Great to see you, guy. Talked about you earlier today. Talked about your upcoming appearance on Late Night with the Davey this Wednesday. I am pumped to have you. Really appreciate you joining us here in the chat as well. Yeah, you know, originally I was doing these streams like afternoon, so like early evening Sunday for the East Coast crowd, and I found like it was just kind of better for my day to get it out earlier in the day, just hop on the live stream, and then it frees not only myself up for the remainder of the day, but also you guys. So really pumped to be owning that Sunday matinee space. Why the heck not? Yeah, guys. So yeah, Gavin, it's the one from Umbrella. Exactly. Yep. You guys just did a rewatch. It's a shame they couldn't continue, especially with it being Sam Raimi. Or are you talking about Spider-Man? Yeah. You're still going? Sorry, I had to step out for some calls. I know, man. It's crazy. Still going. All right. Hot take, but I feel Late Night with the Devil would work better as a play than a movie, especially being part of the audience and experiencing the supernatural elements in person. Probably, or maybe not better, but just in a different way, right? Because film is the best way to reach the widest audience possibly. Widest audience possible, not whitest. But yeah, I would love to see it as a stage play. That would be great. It's just, you know, it would probably be costly and difficult to find that huge audience. I also think like Night of the Living Dead would be really cool as a stage play. I even would like to see it in black and white. So you do like black and white makeup on everyone. That would be wild. All right, Gavin, this is hilarious. Gavin says, Davey owns all time frames. That's right. And I did say whitest, but I wanted to make sure that it didn't sound like whiteist because they sound very similar. I really enjoyed Late Night with the Devil. And I think, you know, there's like a month between it releasing in theaters and it popping up on Shudder. A lot of people waited until Shudder. So for 4 weeks, all they heard about was how good this movie was. And that hype can sort of deflate your experience. That's why I try not to listen to too much of the hype and try not to watch many reviews before I see a movie. I probably watched the preview for Late Night with the Devil once, and it made me want to see the movie. And I had a great, excuse me, a great experience in the theater watching that with Kate. It was awesome. I felt totally immersed. So maybe it's different watching it in the theater versus watching it, you know, at home. But I really dug it quite a bit. Take care, Medley Man. Gonna peace out and watch The Wire, smoke some weed, and don't hate Halloween Ends or Nightmare 4. There you go, bud. Have a great rest of your day. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get going here as well. Really appreciate you all jumping into the live stream here. We've still got 16 people watching. That is amazing. I think the peak was like 18, maybe even 20, and I missed it. I don't know, but you guys are so supportive and awesome. This channel doesn't even have 700 subs, so to see you guys pop into a live, and not only that, but stick around is really, really incredibly, you know, supportive. And it just, like I say, it fuels what we do here at the channel. I'm going to take a little break from talking for a bit, hang out with the kitty cats and Kate, but I will be shooting my Terrifier 2 review later today. Expect that coming up this week. I'm going to be shooting the Intruder review either today or tomorrow. Going to be shooting that with Kate, so I need to make sure she's all ready to hop into that one. And yeah, guys, keep an eye out for, I'll be on Sledgehammer Horror, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, talking about the Final Destination Top Kills. That's going to be a live stream. And then another live on Wednesday with Late Night with the Davey. And then we're just doing this whole thing over and over again. So yeah, guys, please check out the links in the description below. We've got merch. We've got the Patreon. You can find me on social media if you want to send me a DM and tell me what movie to watch because I'm missing out. That's a great way to do it. If you guys want to request your own movie for me to review, then hop on over to Patreon and become a patron. It's such a great thing you can do to support the channel. And real quick, wanted to give a shout out to Allie because I saw that she had purchased a fanny pack, a movie date with Davey and Kate fanny pack. It's this really awesome, like teal kind of turquoisey green color, bubblegum ice cream color, if I'm being honest with the fatty in myself. I love bubblegum ice cream. Yeah, let me know how that all how it looks when you get it. Allie, thank you so much for supporting us by buying merch. Yeah, guys, check out the Spring Shop. We've got shirts, we've got glasses, we've got mugs, fanny packs, stickers, cell phone cases, sweatshirts, a whole bunch of really fun stuff. And I want you guys to know I've got something really cool in the works with some Davey Death Ray designs. My buddy Cole, who lives out in North Carolina, reached out to me earlier this week and he was like, hey man, I was just watching your show and drawing and I came up with this design for you. And it blew my friggin' mind. So I talked with Cole and he's going to work on some designs for the flagship shows that we have here on the channel. He's already done a redesign on the Davey Death Ray logo, and we're going to be putting out brand new merch with that. I'll be showing you guys as I get some more stuff from Cole because I don't want to spoil it. I want to save it for the right time. And yeah, I'm really excited about what we have going on here because I put together most of the stuff that you see there on the Spring Shop. I'm not so much of like a visual artist. Like it's like, I know what I like from looks, but as far as actually doing it with my hands, I like to leave that to the folks that really excel at what they do. Cole is certainly one of those people. He's got an awesome art style. I love the way he does this. So really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. But yeah, click the like button, share the channel with somebody that you know would love the content. And thank you guys so much for coming by. Love seeing you guys. Tell everyone or tell each other to have a great weekend. Have an awesome rest of your Sunday, everyone. I hope the work week is as easy and manageable as possible. And I will see you guys on Tuesday night over at Sledgehammer Horror and then back here on Wednesday night for Late Night with the Davey. So until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Death Ray. Take care.